These are our Instagram profiles as six-figure graphic designers. I've personally booked over 90% of my high-paying design clients through Instagram, but over 99% of designers aren't making the most out of their profiles, and that's why they aren't booking clients through the platform. Even our own students are using Instagram to sign 5K, 7K clients with less than 1,000 followers. And we've even made lots of videos here on our YouTube channel breaking down what you should be posting on Instagram to attract and sign paying clients.
But today we're doing something completely different. Instead of telling you what to post, we're going to show you what we post and why. We'll be walking you through our own Instagram accounts, sharing how we think about storytelling, visuals, and creative energy. These are the kind of things that make your portfolio feel magnetic before anyone even reads a word. Let's get into it.
Let's first look at my Instagram username. I keep mine really simple. Like, it is exactly the same as my business name. And something to consider is if you have a really complicated business name that's like hard to spell or pronounce, you may want your username to be something even more simple so that people can easily look up your profile and find it without having to guess what they need to type in. And then down here, my actual name doesn't just say Kinsey. It says Kinsey Luxury Brand Identity and Website Designer for SEO purposes and for the simple fact that immediately helps my dream clients know I am more premium, I'm a luxury designer, like I'm probably not going to be the cheapest out there. I also always recommend having a profile photo of yourself, not your logo, because people remember faces. Yes, your logo is important, but through Instagram and through social media nowadays, you really want to build that personal connection. And one of the best ways to do that is by showing the face behind the brand, the founder, the designer. So having a profile picture that is a high quality, easy to see picture of your actual face, of you, is something far better than just having like a logo design. Now, when looking at my bio, I do think it's really important to remember that there's a limited amount of characters on Instagram. Like, if I could write a little bit more here, I would, but I don't have that much space. So I have my introduction statement, which says playful brand and web design for female founders ready to be loud, proud, and profitable. And essentially, this is also seen on my website. I just kind of expand upon it a little bit on my website to keep that consistency. And when I'm pitching myself at networking events, I actually say this exact same sentence so that people start to really remember me as the playful premium designer who works with female founders that want to be loud, proud, and profitable. Now, below that, I do link the Brief Collective because I'm an educator and I link my podcast. However, if you're somebody who doesn't necessarily have any other major businesses that you want to link there, I would use this space to create a call to action. Basically, like, click the link below to schedule a free consultation or click the link below to book your rebrand, something like that, that kind of guides clients to take that next step. Now let's look at the link in bio page. I created my own custom link in bio, and if you have your own website, you should be doing this too. You shouldn't be using Linktree. It steals your traffic. You don't need to use a third-party link system. You just create this page on your own website, and I have my design services, inquire about a project, Design Biz Academy, and then this was Try Adobe Illustrator was actually for like a affiliate partnership, so I really need to remove that. And then if you scroll down, I actually have a freebie. So I have like a before and after of an ugly website versus like a nice rebranded website. And people can download my freebie, which is unlock 5 days of ugly websites and find out how to turn your ugly website into a money-making machine. So I use my link in bio page to present the most important information to potential clients and also advertise my freebie and my other social media handles. Now that we've looked at the profile overall, let's dive more into the actual post and the content. So, fun fact about me, I'm actually really bad at designing social media templates. Like, I suck at it. So instead of like using a consistent social media template or social media graphic over and over again on my profile, a lot of times I just use my client work as the cover on Reels or like professional brand photos as the cover for the post that I'm sharing. And that's what you'll see here on like almost all of my posts. Like, that's a client logo, that's a client mock-up, a client logo, this is a brand photo in the background, client logo. Like, that's kind of how I show up in a way that works for me. I do have this one here that is a graphic I made, but I like rarely actually use that. And this is kind of like how I've created my own style. And since my work is all kind of playful, it does flow together, I think, for the most part, pretty nicely. And there's like a feminine edge to everything I do. So this approach really works for me in terms of creating a consistent and cohesive feed that also aligns with how I like to show up. And let's check out some of my recent posts, starting with this one. So I showed my chicken design work. I love chickens. It's a part of my brand. They show up in my stories sometimes. A lot of people know that I have chickens. And so this was just my way of showing my work and infusing it with a different part of my lifestyle. And I think sometimes the best, most fun posts come from doing things like this. This over here was literally a photo of my client's website. I was like working on it late at night and took a picture just with my iPhone and put her logo on top of it. And then I showed some pictures of her menu items and added logos to those pictures to kind of show off her brand and also show off what she has to offer and how all of these things kind of match, like her photos, her colors, her website, her branding, the logo marks, everything flows together. And this was a really simple post, but I think that it's a fun post as well. And it communicates why you need a designer. And then this video here was actually showing the design process where I talked a little bit more in depth about like my strategy and approach to this project and why I made the decisions I made. And that's kind of a recurring theme on my profile. Once you start posting quite often, you might end up realizing that you have a signature series or a signature theme that you like to repeat, and people will start to remember your profile based on that type of theme and that type of content. So the storytelling design process theme is something that I've used many, many times to showcase many different client projects. And it's kind of like my go-to presentation per se when I'm making Instagram content. And every now and then I'll throw in like a fun random trend, like the caveman story trend. I don't know if any of you have seen that on TikTok, but basically you talk like a caveman and use very basic words to share a story. And I noticed a lot of people were sharing personal life stories, and I just took that trend and flipped it for my business. Ultimately, I think that marketing your design business can be very fun, but a lot of times designers get stuck overthinking how they're showing up, worrying about every little detail. They let perfectionism stop them, and then their posts end up feeling kind of bland and blending in because they're so worried about every little thing that they're doing online. Their personality kind of unintentionally gets stripped away from that content. So I think it's really important to take the pressure off of being a professional and just experiment. Have fun, try different things, try different post styles, try different formats, try sharing your work in different ways and see what sticks, see what people enjoy and what helps you communicate your value as a designer. And before we get into Marissa's profile, I just wanted to let you guys know that we have a free 90-day action plan to hit your first 10K month as a designer. Just click the link in the description below to download it for free. And keep in mind, this is very simple. A lot of designers overcomplicate this path to 10K months, and you'll see that it's actually more about repetitive task and consistency when you download this free plan.
Now, on my Instagram, I have it up on my screen right here. I wanted the name director in my username. Now, I always thought of myself as more than just a designer because I was directing my clients' entire experience. I was thinking about how their clients felt sitting in their chairs. I was thinking about how that would translate onto the website and how it would look in their booking software. I also would plan a lot of photo shoots so that it could go on the websites. And so I kept finding myself saying, yeah, I'm a brand designer, but it just didn't feel right. And so that's why I selected to call myself a brand director instead, because I was doing so much more than just visual identity work. So I'm a brand director and I'm a brand coach because I have to coach people a lot through how they should carry their brands and how they feel seen in their brands as well. And in my bio, I say I direct female-led visionary brands that move like art, scale with strategy, and speak before they ever say a word. And that's all about, like, that's the epitome of what I do. I want my design to speak for itself, and I want the experience to feel effortless and subtle. And so that when my clients' leave her experience, they're like, wow, that was amazing. And I really want that effortless feeling to kind of go throughout everything that I touch in my design agency. I also link the Brief Collective in my bio because I want people to know that I also am an industry leader and teach other designers how to do what I do. And that always very much so interests my clients because they're like, wow, okay, so she's an educator, like she gets this, she knows this, she talks to other designers about this all day long. And believe it or not, my clients learn a lot from our content at the Brief Collective too. I also tell them to reserve or apply for a creative project with me because I don't accept every single person who fills out my inquiry form. I make sure that it's a mutual interview process so that we make sure that we're both a good fit for each other. I also allow my social media to be a place where I can play, or I can have my audience vote on 2 different mood boards. I like to be silly and put my personality out there. I also talk a lot about mindset and coaching too, because I think that kind of goes hand in hand with how I do the design process. Whenever I share projects about my clients, it's really important to me to focus on the woman behind the brand and not just the brand design itself, because I coach the woman first before we even think about what the brand identity is going to look like, what the website's going to look like, any of that stuff. And so I love this post I did on Maxine. I think it's very beautiful, and it really talks a lot about her and why we came to this change. And I'm just endlessly impressed by my clients and their capabilities of what they're able to do. I work with a lot of creative, strong women, and they always inspire me so much. I also love when women aren't scared to evolve and feel really confident in that, because we're all changing and growing every single day. And so this was actually a returning client who came back to me and let me do her rebrand and let me do her website refresh. And it turned out better than we both could have imagined. And she was one of probably my 5th client, and she paid a high price point back when I was starting my business. And, my prices are raised now, and she was willing to pay that. She's like, yeah, girl, I expect it. She's like, where can I sign? And she paid me in full. She's an incredible client, and I was an absolute joy and honor to work with her. And I just think like storytelling like that, to be able to let your audience in on why you do what you do and how you make the creative decisions that you do, gives a window into your creative process. Those are the things that your potential clients are really going to connect with. I also love this post that says, wow, you're so lucky you're booked and busy. And then it says the luck, because I actually don't even believe in luck. And it's talking about me and what I identify with. And I'm pretty sure I got a client off of this post because she was like staying soft without losing standards. And she said, hey, can we book a call? And we did that next week. And so she identified with that. That was one of the top things on this post. And, that was something that she carries through in her life as well. And so I think that talking about the things you value and the things you believe in, and not just, the pretty brands that you do, but talking about like the heart of it, those are the things that are going to get you clients at the end of the day. I also really enjoy this 3rd post. It says, brand truths I tell you, if I wasn't so good at being kind, JK, I'd probably still tell you because I'm not a yes man. And that's just setting the standard and the boundary and setting that expectation, before they ever fill out the form, before any money is exchanged, that I'm not a yes man and I'm going to tell you what I think. You're paying me to be creative and give my opinion. And so I'm going to do that. And this is a really great post. It just goes through my raw thoughts about branding and what somebody who already has an established brand needs to be considering. And as Kinsey mentioned in the intro, we've recorded a lot of videos on Instagram before where we show you exactly how to replicate what we've broken down in our own profiles. So make sure to go check those videos out.
So that's our Instagram accounts as 6-figure graphic designers. As we've said throughout this video, Instagram can be a very useful tool when it comes to attracting and booking high-paying design clients.
So if you want to take the first step towards signing high-ticket design clients, click the link in the description to access our free 90-day action plan to help you reach your first 10K month. It's completely free and everything you need to hit that first 5-figure month. And there's also a really nice surprise hidden in there for you too. Finally, make sure to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. And click here to watch our video on what you should be posting on Instagram in order to sign those high ticket design clients. Thanks for watching.